from the Daily Mail. Government-run grocery store in Kansas City forced to shut down thanks to rampant shoplifting and empty shelves.
Shocking.
A city-run grocery store in Kansas City has been forced to close after rampant shoplifting and years of empty shelves. Years. The Sun Fresh Market abruptly shut its doors on Monday, August 12th, with a handwritten sign taped to the entrance reading, "Due to unforeseen circumstances," super unforeseen, "beyond our control, we are no longer able to serve residents at this time." Emmett Pearson Jr., the group CEO, has repeatedly said that relentless shoplifting and crime in the neighborhood have driven away customers. Last month, images at the grocery store shared online reveal mostly bare shelves and coolers, as well as empty meat, produce, and deli departments. Shoppers said the store once held fresh items they needed, but it has been mostly empty for the last 3 months, and that some of the products available appear to be expired. The milk, "I'm scared to buy some," shopper Michelle Randolph told KMBC at the time. "Even the dates they may have a few days over, I don't want to buy that. It's just a rancid odor. I think something is dead or something's gone bad," added shopper John Murphy. I mean, here's a picture. You can see there's very little on the shelves. These things are man, it looks rough. But this is something that is emblematic of government-run stores. And it's also,
if it was Walgreens, they would have locked it all up.
well, I mean, that's
the problem here is this isn't that they're just not implementing communism correctly. If we could just be like real communists for a second, everything will work, I promise.
You ever seen that video, the video of the guy who comes over from like Cuba and he goes to a
Alien Gonzalez?
He's literally crying.
Imagine like now we redo that video. A guy makes it here from Cuba for the first time. They drop him off at the government or on grocery stores. Like, oh no,
where's the plane leave yet? We should do that. That could be a deterrence for illegal immigration. Is just set up government-run grocery stores on the border, and they'll get here and be like, "This place sucks. I'm going back to Guatemala."
I mean, look, I'm for any method that will keep people from coming.
Stephen Miller, if you're watching, we have an idea. Please email us.
Yeah.
2 months later.
Stephen Miller.
But this is something that will likely end up happening in a Mamdani-run New York City, or at least it's a possibility. It's totally impossible for this to happen if the shops are run by private industry, right? Like they're going to hire security,
right?
They're going to, call the police. They're going to do things to protect their investment. When there is no investment from a private entity, when it's just the government that's providing stuff, there's no incentive to protect it. Let people steal. We don't care. It's not worth the risk to try to stop them. This is the kind of stuff that happens when government isn't running a what should be private industry.
It says $28,997,400 in taxpayer money. What I'm curious about, maybe ChatGPT or one of these AIs has the answer, is how much inventory was actually in the store and how much of it is just like people,
There was probably $30,000 worth of inventory, and the rest was
in a
all
golden
just
toilet.
Yeah, it was all just just embezzled by people that were.
The rest of it went to Ukraine, right?
Ukraine. If by
shop
Ukraine,
here at the government store, and we send bullets to Ukraine.
If by Ukraine you mean
it's almost
the
like the
people
West
that were
Bank.
actually in the municipal government.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get this thing with Zoran where it's going to be really similar to de Blasio, where all of his grand ideas that he ran on are going to get shaved down because New York has a tight budget, and it's going to be one grocery store, and it's going to be like half baked, half subsidized, but it's going to get a lot of attention, a lot of press, and it's going to actually like run kind of well, and people are going to be like, see, this works. It's gonna suck because and they're gonna have like these terrible murals everywhere. It's gonna be like horrible.
It'll eventually fall apart, but it'll work just well enough so that way they can, propagandize people saying, "Look, it does work." They get the photo op, and then when it does fail, people are going to say, "Oh, it was implemented wrong. It actually worked for a little bit there," because they're not going to actually say, "Hey, no, this did have problems." They're going to say, "We need to double down on it," because that's what always happens.
I mean, like the MTA runs, the MTA can't get anything done. I mean, and that's like the beating heart of New York City, and they're always like scraping the barrel for cash. So it's like, I mean, let's get the MTA right first before we start working on like nationalizing, key
What's wrong
foods.
with the D train, man?
Well, as a loyal F train rider, It's very sad to see what's happened to the MTA.
Yeah, I'll show
Tired of getting
you an F
stranded.
train, Mom Donnie.
Look, man,
Yeah, I mean they've been trying to get this like interborough link train going for years. Who
cares?
Nothing. Exactly. I don't even know if the mayor cares anymore. I think it's just like, can we just get the trains running on time? That's all we need.
I
That's all we
understand.
need.
I understand. There's a lot of New Yorkers, but New York tends to think that the world revolves around. New
Oh,
York,
yeah.
and it doesn't.
Yeah, on my Twitter, there's a great picture of just a soy jack holding a picture. It says, "Here's some uninteresting information about New York City." Yeah. That's the average thing. There was like, because there was a piece, I think it was in the New Yorker today, and it was like the interesting story behind the ramps at bodegas, and it's just like a terrible
not
concrete
interesting.
job
There's
poured right in
nothing
front of it, and I'm like, no one cares, but they report on this like it's the center of the world. Yeah, as an exiled New Yorker, there really are some insufferable people there, and mainly in their press.
As an exiled New Yorker, how do you feel not paying $4,000 for a 300 square foot apartment building?
It's wonderful. Yeah, I won't say how much I paid, but my last place in Manhattan was 10 by 6. My room was 10 by 6. And yeah, it was rough. But honestly, like even the DC area is pretty pricey as well. So it's I haven't gotten full like redemption. I think I need to keep heading south to really just experience what a normal rent price should be.
It's intentional.
Yeah.
To drive the rents up is very simple. All you have to do is make building complicated and very restrictive.
Yeah.
And then population growth is just going to, by default.
Well, and you're competing, and I hate to go back to it, but it really is a pressing issue. I mean, like Queens, New York, for example, half the city's foreign-born. So it's like you're not only just competing with fellow Americans for housing, you're competing with the world for housing. And it's like, how is a young person supposed to get ahead?
So we're going to jump to the last story here. Adam, you came in and you have a story to break about the red heifer.
Right.
Could you go ahead and elaborate on that, please?
Right. So this was a big thing over at InfoWars and on the dissident right media for the longest time, the Jew hate media. Yeah. Do you have my tweet that I actually put on my... Yes. So I basically, what happened, if you want to go to the first slide first before we play the video, about a month ago on July 1st,
that one, right?
there was an announcement that they were going to do a practice run of the red heifer. And prior to this, the media outrage that the Jews were going to go do this red heifer, you had like these lunatics like Stu Peters and others who were saying, this is going to usher in the Antichrist, blah, blah, blah. And it was like a real big media balagan. It was really a bad twist. So they said that and also the government wasn't going to let them. So what they did was they said, we're just going to do a practice one with one of the 5 disqualified cows. The government said, okay, whatever. They ended up going out, doing a real cow. One of the cow's name was Tikva. They made the offering, and it was a real offering. They did it all by the laws, and I have with me some of the ashes right here, red heifer ashes, and it's pretty incredible. The red heifer, the last time that the red heifer was done was over 2,000 years ago. The first time it was done by Moses. The second time it was done by Ezra from the book in the Bible. And that shows you how long the ashes can last for. So a pure red heifer doesn't come about all the time. And in this generation, we had 21 of them that were born. Pure. They picked 7 to bring to Israel. And out of the 7, Israel only allowed them to have 5 brought in. And they've been sitting around just doing nothing because the media outrage has been so astronomical about it. But the red heifer people, they fooled everybody, and they successfully performed the ritual about a month ago. Now, in the ritual, you're supposed to have hyssop. I have also hyssop that is from the actual ritual, and also the red heifer ashes. And these get put into a clay jar and then sprinkled on people in a healing ritual. And it removes the impurity of death and allows for people to heal. So since this started, they have been sprinkling on people. There was a man with Alzheimer's who just started remembering everything, sight to the blind, there's some real miracles that have happened in the last month since this thing has gone down. But the ashes, just like I have a little bag, there was 10.5 gallons of ashes. And this is only a dime bag full. And these ashes have been disseminated. They're here to stay. They will never be found. So many people have them. And this little bag can power about 10,000 doses.
Power about it said that makes it sound like really potent cocaine.
It packs a punch. Yeah.
This is the stuff right here,
Test
man.
it for fent.
This is the. But we could go smoke this after the show. But no, I'm just kidding. Come back from the dead after you do something like that. But I have a video from the ritual, and if you want to play it, I don't know if you're. It has copyrighted music. Can you slide it so people could see the slide?
Yeah, I've been doing that.
So these are the slides of the actual ceremony being taken place, and that's tikva, and everything was done specifically according to halacha, which is Jewish law.
Mm-hmm.
It was a perfect cow, and meaning that it doesn't have a single hair that is not red. And also, it could never have been burdened with work. So you can't even lean a shovel up against the cow. They have to be treated in a very specific way for their whole life. And then the person who does the ritual can never have been in contact with death. So basically, they're not allowed to go to. They have to be of a specific bloodline. And what they do was they raise these children in like these elevated homes above the ground. And they never leave the home until they're ready to do the rituals. And that's like how they never come into contact with death. So the priest who did this literally lived in his home for over 20 years before he...
Never left?
Nope. Because he was born to do this ritual.
Wow.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.